I'm Lily. Today I'm going to read you the story To the Stars. Happy readers, level 6. To the Stars. Let's read it. To the Stars. Do you know Tina and Ben? I wonder if Tina and Ben will go to rear to the star. Let's read and find out. It was time for science class. I'm so excited, Tina said to Ben as they entered the classroom. We're going to learn more about the solar system today. Yes, said Ben, and more importantly, Mr. Jackson is going to check our science project ideas. Here, have a look at this. He took out his sketchbook and handed it to Tina. Tina looked over the wonderful drawings of the planets and said softly, "Wow, these are amazing." Wow. I have an idea for my project too, said Tina. It's a story about an astronaut named Justin. The bell rang. The students took out their science textbooks and notebooks. Everyone waited for Mr. Jackson to arrive. 2 minutes passed, but nobody came. Some students began to whisper, "Oh, where's Mr. Jackson?" No one knew. No one knew. Mr. Jackson was never late for school, late for class. After another 5 minutes, there were hurried footsteps in the corridor, and Miss Blair entered. Mr. Blair looked hot and out of breath. "I'm sorry, Cuz," she said. "Mr. Jackson can't teach this afternoon. His mother is ill." Ben looked at Tina and sighed. "I will take over this class today," Miss Blair continued. "Mr. Jackson has left some task for you to complete. Please open your science books to page 37. You should read pages 37 to 40. And answer the questions on page 41. Please work quickly." For 20 minutes, the classroom was silent. Then Tina suddenly whispered, "Ben, have you finished? I have a great idea. Let's put my story and your picture together. We can make a comic." "Shh," said Miss Blair. "Miss Blair," said Tina, "Ben and I have finished our work. Can we make this comic now? It's about the planets and it's very educational." "It's our science project," added Ben. Well, said Miss Blair, "that sounds all right, but please don't make too much noises." After class, everyone wanted to see the comic. The Adventures of Asteroid Stella, Space Explorer, Part 1 by Anna Dabbit. But actually, it's written by Tina and Ben. The sun is rising on Mercury, the closest sun to the sun. The temperature starts to rise. At noon, it will reach 427 degrees centigrade. Luckily, the noon is not coming very soon. One day here is as long as 176 days on Earth. This is Asteroid Stella, astronaut, explorer, and scientist. Her spaceship has broken down here on Mercury. Who's there? Friend or enemy? Blip blip. What will happen? Find out next. Find out next time. I'm so wonder. On Tuesday morning, Mrs. Smith told the class, "You're going to have science class tomorrow as usual." "Mr. Jackson is back," cheered the class. No, I'm afraid not," said Mr. Smith. "Mr. Jackson is still with his family and he may be away for some time. But a new teacher, Mr. Tobin, will teach some over his lessons." The students were disappointed. Mr. Jackson was funny and kind, and his lessons were always interesting. Mr. Smith began teaching, but Tina and Ben did not pay attention. Ben turned around in his chair and whispered to Jane, "This is part 2 of our comic, The Adventure of Astrid Stella." He handed it to her. Tina and I made it after school yesterday. Pass it to Sam after you read it. "Be careful, Ben," whispered Tina. "Mr. Smith will see you." In the burning heat of mercy, Astrid met a strange robot, and he was friendly. His name was Bingo. He helped Astrid fix her spaceship, and together they flew away from Mercy. Phew, that was hot. "Look, that's Venus, the second planet from the sun. Look at those clouds." Beep, beep. The clouds let the sun's heat in, but not out again. Venus is like a greenhouse, a very hot greenhouse. The surface temperature can reach 464 degrees. That's even hotter than Mercury. After lunch on Wednesday, Tina and Ben's classmates came back to class early. They stood around Ben's desk and read the third time of the comic. Was it? Astrid Stella continues her journey. "Earth, that's my home." The space passes Earth and lands on the next planet. That is the fourth planet, Mars. On Mars, Astrid Stella tests the soil. If there is enough water, Mars could support life. Brr, it's cold. It's minus 63 degrees here. Blip. "Oh no, a sandstorm! Run!" Will Astrid get to safety? As students read the comic, the bell rang. A short man with a pile of books walked into the classroom. He walked He walked straight to the teacher's desk and dropped his books on it with a loud smack. It's more louder. The students were shocked. "That must be Mr. Tobin," whispered Sam. "Go back to your seats. It's time for class," shouted Mr. Tobin. The students hurried to their seats. Mr. Tobin looked around the classroom and noticed the comic of Sam's desk. "This is science class. We're here to study, not read comics," he said. "I'll keep this." He took the comic and put it into his desk drawer. "Now, take out on your notes, please," continued Mr. Tobin. "Today we are studying Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn." For the whole lesson, the students took notes while Mr. Tobin talked and talked. "What an awful lesson," complained Sam when the class was over. "Well, I actually learned a lot," said Tina. "Yes, but he took our comic," replied Ben. "We can make another," suggested Tina. Yes, I suppose, said Ben. "Are you free after school today?" "No, sorry," sighed Tina. "I have swimming practice on Wednesdays. Maybe tomorrow." "Hurry up and make it," said Sam. "Hurry up and make it." "Oh, I think Tim wants to read the new comic." "Hurry up and make it," said Sam. "I can't wait to read about Astrid's next adventure." Yes, and next. After school on Thursday, Ben and Tina did their homework at Tina's flat. Afterwards, they worked on their comic. "I have a new idea for part 4, said Tina. "What about this?" Last time, Astrid was in a dangerous murder sandstorm. This sandstorm isn't natural. It is cast by the spaceship. Let's leave this planet. This strange spaceship is right behind them. They flew to Jupiter, the largest planet, and it has 67 moons. It's still following us, Bingo. Hang on, I have an idea. Where can Astrid hide? After class on Friday, Tina and Ben showed the new comic to Miss Blair. Our classmates really like our comic, said Ben. What do you think, Miss Blair? Can you help us make more copies for them? Well, you two write and draw very well, she replied. But has Mr. Jackson Sr. come in yet? Well, no, said Tina. Not yet. He went away before he got a chance. Miss Blair thought for a while. She said. It's your science project. Why don't you ask Mr. Tobin? Tina and Ben were silent. Mr. Tobin was very angry about this comic, so I think Tina and Ben don't want to show it to Mr. Tobin. Tobin, yes. And next page. Tina and Ben worked hard on the comic all weekend. By science class on Monday, part 5 was ready. Astrid and Bingo hide in the fog of Titan, a moon of Saturn. Bingo, look, those rocks are made of water ice. You can't run away from me, Astrid Stella. I am Zinfin, the rocket king of space and time. Stop or I fire. Never. Ha ha ha. Oh no! We're falling. What will happen to Astrid? While Mr. Tobin was speaking, Ben passed the comic to Sam under the desk. Write this down, said Mr. Tobin. Everyone did except Sam. He was lost in the comic. Mr. Tobin was very angry and took the comic away. Who made this? He said. Who's Anna Diffant? The students giggled, but no one spoke. I don't have time for this. You, Mr. Tobin said to Tim, go to the head teacher's office. Ben and Tina felt guilty for getting Sam into trouble. The next day before class, they wanted to give him a surprise. They found him alone at his desk, looking out of the window. Sam, are you right? Said Tina. What happened yesterday? I don't want to talk about it, said Sam. Can you two leave me alone, please? Don't be upset, Sam, said Tina. We're really sorry. Yes, we are, said Ben. Look, we made this for you. Yeah. It's your very own Astrid Stella comic. Oh, I think Sam is really happy. But Sam says, oh. And next. Astrid and Bingo jump to safety as their spaceship crashes and burns. Oh, Bingo, it's hopeless now. We don't have a spaceship. We can't go home. We'll run out of food and air very soon. And it's so cold here, minus 180 degrees. It's very cold. We'll probably freeze to death. It's starting to rain. Wait, is that a spaceship? Astrid, I finally found you. Sam Starblazer, how did you get here? Wow! You didn't make that comic for me, said Sam angrily. Oh, why did Sam say this? You made it for yourself. You wrote the story about Astrid. You drew the pictures and you passed the comic to me under the desk. You two should also take some responsibility. Tina looked guilty. Ben asked, did you tell the head teacher about us? No, said Sam. She just told me to pay more attention in class, and she phoned my parents. You two need to be more honest. After that, Tina and Ben worked on their comic together at Ben's house. You always get other people into trouble. Learn to take care of yourself. I'm sorry, Sam. I can't thank you enough. I want to be an explorer, not your backup. I wish I could just leave you on Uranus. It's minus 220 degrees. You're Celsius. They're cold like you. Come on, Sam. You don't understand. There's an evil robot Symphon, and I need your help too. I can't defeat Symphon without Sam. You know, said Ben while he colored the pictures. I think Sam is right. It was our fault. We made the comic and passed it to Sam during the class. Let's tell the head teacher. She should also punish us. I agree, said Tina. We should take more responsibility. Let's go to Mr. Robinson's office after school tomorrow, said Ben. The next day after school, the head teacher, Miss Robinson, listened to Tina and Ben's story. So, Miss Robinson, Tina finished, you should also punish us. Said Mrs. Robinson. Let's not talk about the punishment yet. Are you parents picking you up today? Ben and Tina nodded. Well, let's wait for them, said Mrs. Robinson. Then we can have a chat. The three of us, your parents and your science teacher. Tina and Ben looked worried. But when the science teacher arrived, it was Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson, you're back, shouted Ben and Tina. Yes, said Mr. Jackson seriously, but I'm not very pleased with you. You shouldn't pass your comics around in class. It's rude. You should always pay attention to the class and follow the teacher's instructions, said Mrs. Robinson. Maybe you two should work on a different science project, said Mr. Jackson. We can talk about it tomorrow. Sorry, Mr. Jackson. We've learned our lesson, said Ben and Tina. Now you know, said Ben's father as they drove home. Class discipline is very important. Yes, Ben. Yes, said Ben. I know, we were wrong. I'm so angry with myself. This is the end of asteroid. Oh, what is that? Oh, here it is. Asteroid Stella. Maybe, replied his father. But you can still make them at home. But then how will my friends see them? Asked Ben. Let's phone Tina when you get home, said his father. I have an idea. I have an idea. Later that evening, Ben's father called. It's ready. Wow, said Tina. Your dad is amazing. The website looks great. Your web comic looks good too, said Ben's father. This is perfect, said Ben happily. It's even better than I imagined. On the internet, anyone can read about Asteroid Stella's adventures. I love the last line, said Ben's mother. Onwards, upwards, to the stars. I can't wait to read more. Where will Astrid and Sam go next? Bye!